Welcome to your instant reaction show, and let's start off with an apology from me. I said Penn State was going to win the Big Ten this year. I kept picking Penn State. I kept projecting Penn State to be the Big Ten champion. I am sorry. I have led you astray. I was wrong. Penn State, not that team. Not that team. Not ready for the moment. The offense not good enough. The defense is good enough. The game the defense played against Ohio State, good enough to play with anybody in the country. But that offense just could not move the ball, could not score when it mattered, and it was just not enough. And really the biggest difference, we can kill Drew Aller if we want. But it feels like
their receivers just could not get separation at all. Couldn't get separation. The difference in this game was Penn State had receivers who couldn't get separation. Ohio State had Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, think about this. What's the biggest play of this game? The biggest play of this game was Kalen King getting called for defensive holding, which took a scoop and score off the board for Penn State. That was the biggest play. And it was a legitimate call. And he had to do that to cover Marvin Harrison Jr. because Marvin Harrison Jr. is just a freak. He is that good. And Marvin Harrison Jr. has the catch and run touchdown late in the game to put it away. He was the difference in this game. If Penn State had a Marvin Harrison, you put him on the other team, the game flips entirely. Now, do I know if either of these teams can beat Michigan? I don't think Penn State can for sure. I don't know about Ohio State either. The thing with Michigan is we can't figure out what they are because they haven't played anybody yet. But I suspect they're pretty damn good. And so I don't really have much faith in either one of these teams to beat Michigan after watching what I just watched. It was not quite Iowa, Wisconsin, but it was there. And yeah, I do think Ohio State's defense has improved dramatically. I don't want to not give any credit to Jim Knowles and that bunch because they have become much better at limiting the big plays. That was their issue the past 2 years is they would give up these massive plays and it would create momentum swings. It would make it very difficult for them if they did get down, but they're not doing that this year. No plays of 40 plus yards. And I just think it is time for me to say, I'm sorry to you for all of the Penn State hype because the Nittany Lions weren't good enough. They just weren't. Maybe Drew Aller will grow into that. Maybe they need better receivers. It's probably a little bit of both, but that offense is not good enough to win the Big Ten. It's not good enough to make a 4-team playoff. It's just not good enough. But let's see what do we think about Ohio State is the other question, because this is obviously one of the best defenses they're going to play. They played a very good one in Notre Dame when they beat Notre Dame. They're going to play another great one in Michigan. And I think that's the question is, can they win a game against Michigan playing like this? Because is 20 points going to do it against Michigan? I think is the real question. And I know a lot of people, we've got Antonio on the screen now in the chat saying, walked away learning Ohio State and Penn State and Ohio State are mediocre at best on offense. I don't know if they're mediocre, but against a really good defense, they're going to struggle. And Michigan is a really good defense. So, yeah, we probably should be favoring Michigan the rest of the way until proven otherwise. But the problem is it's hard to say that because we have not seen Michigan against anybody of consequence yet. So it's going to be a fun end of the season watching Michigan get to play these teams. You know, when Michigan plays Penn State, it'll be a great challenge because Penn State's defense is obviously very good. But after what I saw today, no faith in Penn State to score on them. None. Even though that game's in Happy Valley. So I think what we need to look at here is what can Ohio State do between now and then to be ready for Michigan? Can they be better? I was very impressed with the way they used Cade Stover. I thought he did a great job. And if you didn't catch our interview with him on Thursday's show, it's on YouTube. You're going to love him. A healthy Travion Henderson coming back at some point, I think, would be a huge help. Now, I will say, in a couple of short yardage situations when they had to have it, Ohio State got the yards they had to have, which I thought would be good. But they got to run the ball better. I think they'll have to run the ball better against Michigan. Carlos in the chat, yes, but what if Michigan isn't allowed to cheat? I suspect Michigan's still very good, even if they don't have anybody's signs. That is my suspicion. But this is going to be probably an epic Ohio State-Michigan game because we don't know what's going to happen to the rest of the country. You know, as this game was going on, UCF was giving Oklahoma all it could handle, but Oklahoma ended up winning that game. Oklahoma could still wind up undefeated going to the Big 12 championship. You know, you would have an undefeated Florida State, undefeated North Carolina in the ACC championship. So two Big Ten teams got in last year. No guarantee that even if they're playing really well, that the loser of that game can get in. So it's a collision course, and it's going to be fun. I wish Penn State had shown us more on offense. I wish this had been a classic where we could be really excited about the Penn State-Michigan game. Unfortunately, I'm just not. They're going to have to get better offensively, and that doesn't feel like a this-year conversation. But that's okay. We're still going to get an epic Big Ten race down the stretch. It's just probably going to be the two usual suspects. And for Penn State, like existentially, you got to figure out how to move into that neighborhood. You're just a notch below, and you got to figure it out because you're still going to be good this year. Probably 10-2 in the regular season. You got to be better than that, though. You're this close, and you need to be better. So let's all get ready. Ohio State probably going to keep winning. We'll see what happens with Michigan, but my guess is they'll keep winning, and they'll beat Penn State in Happy Valley, and we're going to get one heck of a game to end the regular season. The big three games in the Big Ten, one down. Ohio State's got to win. Penn State's got a loss. We'll find out what happens next. I got to go cover Alabama, Tennessee, and I'll talk to you after that game.